really amazing to watch what a unified group that we have.
And so what A Twist of Fate has done is put us all together. It's allowed us to pool our data, pool our resources.
The clinic in the United States and A Twist of Fate, we can gather all this information, we can inform patients about their management, and we can provide treatment for those complications.
But with the nonprofit and all the other mothers behind me, I didn't feel alone anymore.
Hi, my name is Terry Reardon, and I am a manager and a therapist here at Newview, Oklahoma. And here at Newview, Oklahoma, our sole purpose is to help those living with some type of visual impairment, whether they are a young child all the way through grown adults. Newview, Oklahoma is a nonprofit agency. We have 2 rehab offices, one in Tulsa and one in Oklahoma City, but we do cover the whole state. So no matter where a person lives in the state of Oklahoma, we do our best to be able to get out to their home, especially so that we can see the environment that the individual lives in, to help us to better assess their living condition and to help them be able to live a more safe and efficient and independent life as much as possible in their own environment. So we are filming this with our friend Andrea Taylor from A Twist of Fate. And if you are out of the state of Oklahoma and you have any questions concerning Newview, Oklahoma, or anything on this video, please feel free to reach out to her and she will gladly get a hold of me and we will get back with any answers that we can. So today I am going to work with Aiden here, and I'm just going to go over 3 things that we find very important when it comes to working with somebody with some type of visual impairment. Everything usually comes back to these 3 things. Now we are going to talk about a 4th, which is assistive technology, and we'll get to that towards the end. But when we're talking about somebody that has low vision, there's 3 areas that we really want to look at for that person. We want to look at lighting, contrast, and magnification. These 3 areas can really help, whether it's a kid like Aiden who's in school, be able to see his coursework, be able to see what's on the computer, be able to answer questions on the test, or something like socializing, being able to go outside and play with his friends, and to where the parent or the teacher doesn't have to worry about his safety, because we can come up with ways to help him be able to see whether it's a crack in the sidewalk, a hole in the yard. There's so many different things that we can look at to make sure that somebody like Aiden or anybody else is going to be safe wherever they're at. So the first thing that I want to look at is lighting. And a lot of people don't understand how important lighting actually is. Aiden, and it doesn't matter what his vision is, we could have 10 kids here with the same type of vision that Aiden has, and they may all respond differently to light. So we can't say, well, Aiden likes this light, that means everybody with his visual impairment are going to like the same thing. That's not true. So we want to focus one-on-one with what's going to help Aiden the best. And what a lot of people don't realize is if we'll say like this is a classroom, and the lighting above us, unfortunately, causes 85-90% of our glare. So if Aiden's in a classroom and there's a ton of light above his eyes, he may have a hard time focusing on what is directly in front of him, thus making it seem like he can't keep up with the class, whether it's him marking the answer wrong, especially in this time when they're going through state testing. They got to fill in those little tiny circles. That can be very hard with somebody that does have a visual impairment, especially if they don't have the right type of lighting. So what I'm going to do with Aiden, and Aiden, you're more than welcome to answer these questions as we go through this. What we want to focus on here is getting this light directed below Aiden's eyes. And the reason for this is, again, if it's above his eyes, that's where we're going to get irritation. And we want to decrease as much of that irritation as possible so that wherever that light is focused, that's where his eyes can focus. So we're going to actually go through a couple of different bulbs here. And the reason why we want to go through a couple of different bulbs is, again, everybody responds to light differently. And so we want to make sure that we have a couple of different options for Aiden. Now, of course, because we are not in his home and we are not in an actual classroom, a lot of times we cannot plug something in to a desk in a classroom because it will cause a tripping hazard, and we can't do that. They do make battery operated lights. When we come out and do an assessment in the classroom, we bring all the necessities to do a really good assessment for the student. So Aiden, this first light here is going to be a soft white, and I'm just going to put this in front of you. You don't have to worry about reading any of this, but right now, as we can see, the lighting in here is not the best, so it may be harder for Aiden to really focus on what's in front of him. So as soon as I turn this light on, you can already tell that we got light shining now, and it's a lot brighter. So if I turn that off, it almost looks like there's no light on in the room at all. So when we turn that on, Aiden, you just tell me, does the light help?
Yeah.
Okay. Now again, this is a yellow type of light, so we're going to turn this one off. And again, I know this is just a demonstration purpose. We always want to show LED lights because LEDs are going to give off less glare. And a lot of times we want to show 40 watt and 60 watt bulbs because, again, depending on their light sensitivity, a 60 watt bulb may be too bright. So we definitely would want to make sure we have all those different options available. So this bulb right here, this is a daylight bulb, so it's going to be a little bit different type of light here. So Aiden, this is not going to be as yellow, so this pretty much has no yellow in it. Out of those two lights, which one do you think would be easiest on your eyes?
The first one.
Okay, so by doing that type of assessment, again, that's going to allow us to determine what type of light is going to help Aiden, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's at home doing his homework, but also in the bathroom areas, the closet areas, things to help Aiden be able to pick out clothing on his own, be able to, in the bathroom, simple things, putting toothpaste on a toothbrush can make all the difference for somebody like Aiden. Being able to fix his own hair, the lighting can make all the difference for these individuals. Now, sometimes maybe we can't get a lamp where we need it. Maybe we're at a restaurant and we don't have good lighting there. A flashlight can do just as good. You can turn that on, you can shine it on the menu. This allows, again, Aiden to be more independent. He doesn't have to rely on his mom or a sibling or anything like that to read the menu for him. By pulling out a flashlight and using it is going to allow him to see food on his plate and anything of that sort. So again, that's where lighting really plays a role when you're talking about somebody that is living with a visual impairment. The other thing that because we're going to move on to our next section here, and I know I might be flying through these on this video, but again, please reach out to myself or Andrea and we can definitely answer more questions, or if there is somebody that you know that would need to be referred to NewView to get some low vision therapy, they're definitely going to get a lot more in-depth assessment than what we're actually going over on this video.